Okay, we're going to go through the syllabus, and there is a lot of new information here. Even if you've taken a course with me before, we've made some changes from last semester even to this semester. So please make sure you go through the entire thing. Please make sure you read and understand this. Even if I don't mention it in here, make sure you still go through and read it, because this is the agreement between you and I about the big rules of the class. This won't cover every single detail, but it covers all the big ideas, and then the details come out in the class as well. Um, but so make sure you read through this and understand everything that's in here. All right, first things first, we're in brief calculus, blah, blah, blah. My telephone. This phone number is for my office, the 602-787-6713. You can call that. It does ring through to my cell phone. Or my house if I'm quote unquote in the office. If not, it still leaves a message. I still get the message through my email or through my phone. So you can absolutely call this whenever you want. I turn it off at nights and things like that, so you don't have to worry about what time you're calling. But that being said, during summer, I'm not manning this number too often, but of course you can leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now, this is the math office. This is the one I highly recommend. You may have never have thought about this, but this is a really important number because this gets the department chair. This can get you the administrative assistant. These are the people who help you with transferring credits. These are the people, they can help you with all sorts of things. So I help you with my course, and I can help guide you to what maybe your next course would be for MAT217 or that kind of thing. But if you have anything like higher level, like administrative type level, even if it's not with the math office, these people can usually help. So that's a good number to have. Okay, email. This is my email. My email is, right here, david.dwork@paradisevalley.edu. But I'm going to say, don't email me unless it's an emergency. Don't email me unless that's your only option, because I check that email twice a week. Contact me through more. Okay, if you contact me through more, which you've already seen how to do, I think, in the other videos, I check that 3 times a day. Okay, so that one you'll hear back from me rapidly, much more rapidly. Final exam, July 21st and July 22nd. You get to choose the date. It's any time of the day, any one of those days. It's through a proctoring service, which one I will let you know as we get a little closer. But it's a you choose the time type situation. So if you have to work or babysitters or whatever it might be, either one of those days and you're good to go. All right. And let's see. There's very little flexibility on those days though, so it needs to be one of those days. Let's see. Okay, here's a biggie. For this course, because we're a summer course, we're an 8-week class instead of 16. Normally it's 16 during the regular semester. Normally during the regular semester, it's 9 hours a week minimum of work. Minimum. So because this is summer, you should be expecting 18 hours per week. This is not going to be able to be done in one day, right? Or 2 days. You're not going to be able to say, I'm going to do everything on Saturday, Sunday. You will not learn. You will not be successful. You will not enjoy your experience. And I will not enjoy being your teacher. I want to enjoy being your teacher. So please, 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 please plan on working 5 to 7 days during the week. Okay? Spread it out. You're going to not do things in big blocks of time. You're going to do it an hour at a time. That is how you're going to learn and be most successful. And we are going to have a very pleasant experience if you do that. Okay, so nonetheless, moving on from that. Now, I will say it's minimum 18 hours. Realistic is somewhere between 20 and 24, okay, per week. Okay, so be prepared. If you don't have that amount of time, you may want to consider doing this during a regular semester instead, because it is intense in the summer. Alrighty, I'm going to keep moving along. The student code of conduct is student code of conduct. That's the same for the whole campus. Okay, office hours. I do not hold office hours during summer, right? So therefore, the way you contact me is through video problems. I contact you making videos of your questions. So as I showed in the homework section, how you take a picture of your work, you send it, you upload it, I'll make a little video going back to you, right? So you contact me online through more. That's how you get your support. That's how you get your office hours. Now, if you need live one-on-one, this is an online course. This is the wrong modality for meeting with a professor live one-on-one. That would be called what's called live online. So therefore, if you want live online, that has set meeting dates. You meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9:10 to 10:50, and all that kind of stuff. And that's the real time. So if that's what you're looking for, you need to sign up for one of those. PVCC is not offering that modality this summer, but there is classes with seats available at, as of making this video, at Mesa, Scottsdale, and Glendale. So if this is what you're looking for, you need to sign up for one of those courses. Okay. Let's see. The book. The book is not mandatory. The book is free. You've seen this in another video as well, but this is the link to the book if you would like to order one to have printed and shipped to you. Okay, you already have all this stuff. That's already done. Email, generally speaking, what this says here is email me in more, right? I request that all communications happens in more. Email me through more. Message me through more. That's what I'm going to check. If you don't, if you send it through more, you can expect a 1 business day return. But in reality, response time. But in reality, it's if it is 1 business day, I'm not going to be happy with myself. That means like the world is collapsing again. Like in reality, I check on the weekends once a day minimum, and during the weekdays it's like 3 times a day minimum. So you should hear back from me. If you don't hear back from me in over 1 business day, just feel free to reach out and be like, hey, did you see my email? Did it get lost? Because that does happen sometimes. I have lots of students, I have hundreds of students, and at times, just it gets pushed to the next page, and I didn't see that, and I missed it. Or as I'm clicking through, I say, oh, I need to come back to that when I skip it. So always feel free. If it's been more than a day, reach out to me. 1 business day, reach out to me. Business days is Monday through Friday. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. The rest of this, I'll let you read the rest of that. One other key thing is I do have it turned on so students can communicate with students via more, so you guys can talk to each other in the class. But I think it says it in here. Maybe it says a little later, but somewhere in here it does say, here it is. Our IT and faculty and staff have the ability to read communications conducted in any of our systems through the campus, whether it be Gmail, whether it be More, whether it be Canvas. We can read your stuff. So make sure you are doing things that are school appropriate, and being respectful to each other. Okay? All right. Required materials. This is a biggie. All right? You need to have something to write in, a notebook to do your math problems. As you've already seen, you're expected to upload pictures of your work of your math. Having a notebook to keep all of this organized is required. A TI-83 or TI-84 calculator is required. If you do not have one of those and you have some version of a Casio, you can absolutely ask if it's acceptable. But I will tell you, I will not make videos on how to use the Casio because I don't know how. So the only calculators I support are the 83 or 84. If it's anything else, if it's a CAS, it's not acceptable, which stands for Computer Algebra System. So if it's a TI, something with a CAS behind it, can't use that. And if it's a if it's a Inspire, those are okay to use, but I will not support them. I don't have access to the emulators to make videos on those or anything of that nature. So these are the only 2 calculators that I support during the class. If you want to use something else, ask. Okay. You must have an Office 365 account through Maricopa Community Colleges. That is free and included. If you do not know how to do that, let me know and I will make a little tutorial or send you a video on that. Here's the biggie. You must have a device with a camera for proctored testing. This could be a phone, tablet, webcam not built into your computer, etc. Meaning there is maybe a requirement for a second device. The first device is the computer that has internet access. This is the computer you're taking your test on. The second device is something with a camera that also has internet access. It could be Wi-Fi, right? It doesn't have to. It could be like an old tablet or something or an old phone. But it has to have a camera. And it has to be a separate device from the thing you are using to take your test. Okay, because some of the proctoring services require that you point that at your workspace. And then they have another camera on you from the computer, so they see your face and they see like the side, for example. So make sure you have that. And then if you want to buy a calculator, please buy a TI-384 Plus. If you don't want to buy a calculator, you don't have a calculator, you can rent a calculator, right? We have a whole thing for that where you can go to the Math Center. They rent them. I do not know the pricing currently, but they do have pickup dates and all that stuff on this website. So go there if you need to rent one. Course description, course competencies, you can go ahead and read that, but the key to this is you must have passed Math 150, 151, or 152, which is college algebra, some version of college algebra, or Math 155, right? There's a few different versions out there, or Math 187, which is pre-calculus, okay? Any of those, or the appropriate math prerequisite placement test. Okay, now, if you have not passed one of those, you will not be successful in this course, right? And even if you have passed them, and let's say you passed it with a 69.5, the likelihood of you being successful is going to be very low because you need to know algebra. Okay, the idea of being able to do calculus is the first course where we are not building off of algebra. We are just doing brand new. The expectation is you know your algebra. You know how to do everything that was in the prerequisite course. That's why it's called a prerequisite. Now, do you have to be a master of it? Do you have to be 100% on every? No, right? There's quick little reviews. There's going to be little support videos, but it can't be, I need a lesson on factoring. No, you should know how to factor at this point. You should know how to do all those things. So if for some reason you got through one of these courses in a way that maybe you're saying, my foundation's really shaky, you may want to go back and take it again. Okay, that being said, other than that, course competencies, this is all the stuff you're going to learn. Okay, you'll notice limits. Okay, never heard of that. That's brand new. Slope. Okay, I know that word. There's a little bit of repeat there. Yes. Okay. Definition of derivative, brand new. Rules of differentiation, brand new. Applications of derivative, brand new. And integration, and it's going to go down here, brand new. Applications, brand new. Okay. Notice there's no like extensions. There's no like we're going to learn how to factor a new thing. We're going to take what we knew and build onto it. No. Those are now all tools that you're supposed to have at your disposal, and we're going to use them to learn these new concepts. Okay, so moving along. Expectations of you. Read this. Okay. Now here is where sometimes students are like, where does the minimum of 18 hours per week come from? The calculation comes from this. This is what is set by the Arizona Board of Regents. You must spend a minimum of 2 hours in preparation outside of class for each hour spent inside of class. Okay, now this is a 3-credit class, which translates to 3 hours per week. Okay, per 1 week. Now, normally we have 16 weeks. So this would be 3 hours times 16, which give you the number of hours you're supposed to spend on this class. So we're down to, so since we are not a 16-week, we're an 8-week course, right? The number of hours you're spending is still the same. So it becomes 6, right? It's still the same. It's still the same number of hours. It's still the same course. It still has the same expectations. You still have to learn the same things, right? So therefore, that 9-hour-a-week expectation, because we're 3 hours. Sorry, let's try this again. We're 3 hours per week in class, which means there's an additional 2 hours in preparation outside of class. Let's do this. So therefore, that means we're normally 9 hours per week, right? This is 3 hours in class. So this would be 9 hours in total once you do in class and homework and all of that, right? So then it would normally be this times 16. So 9 times 16 is the number of hours you're supposed to spend on the class, but we're only an 8-week, so this becomes 18 hours times 8, which would give us our total number of hours you're supposed to be spending in this class. So it's not an arbitrary number. There are some actual standards behind it and whatever. So if we don't require that much work, then they'd say you can't offer it as a 3-credit class, and then ASU doesn't, you wouldn't be able to transfer, and all sorts of dominoes would start to happen. So let's just plan on doing the 18 hours at minimum. Okay. So go ahead and read this. I don't think it needs my explanation on any of it. Teacher evaluations, this is really, really, really important to me. At some point, you will be offered a little bit extra credit. It goes into the test and quiz category, where you will just do a quick 5-minute teacher evaluation, letting me know what you thought of the course, what we could do differently, what we could do better. And we're trying new things. Every semester we try new things, and it comes from student feedback. So it's really important you fill that out. All right, attendance. This is a biggie. Really biggie. Any student who does not log into more for one calendar week, Sunday to Saturday, may be withdrawn from the class. Okay? Now, when I say withdrawn, that doesn't mean you get a W. You might get a Y. A Y counts like an F. A Y is a 0 in your GPA. It just signifies that you did not complete the course, and when you were not completing the course, you had a D or an F. You were not passing. Where the W means you were passing the course and you had to withdraw for a reason that was not academic related. Maybe you got sick, maybe something happened, maybe you lost your job, or you had a job change and you had to move, or maybe you got deployed, right? Something that was beyond your control and wasn't related to the class, but you had to withdraw for another reason. That's when you get a W, okay? So if you do not attend class from Sunday to Saturday, you might be withdrawn. I'm not going to guarantee it, but in the summer class, I'm pretty diligent about checking, and I will award Ys every single time. Okay, so if you want to withdraw from the course, you need to be passing, okay, or you need to have spoken with me about why you need to withdraw, and then we'll discuss. All right. So anyway, so that attendance is really important because it goes so fast. If you fall behind, there's no catching up. There really isn't. So we're going to stay on top of things. I'm going to be there kind of bothering you. You'll hear me, hey, just checking in. Or also the other way, hey, just want to let you know you completed all your homework for this week. You are doing great. Looks like you're on track. So I try to touch base with every student every week. So you're confident everything's going right, or everything's not going right, and we're going to figure out a plan to get you on the right track. Electronics policy, I don't know, it's an online class. I expect you to use electronics. Now, the key to this would be, think about what things you should be using, right, and what things you shouldn't be using, and make sure you kind of follow that. Academic dishonesty, here's the deal. Anything that could be interpreted as cheating. Now, what do I mean by interpreted? I don't have to catch you, right? During a test, proctored test, if you have your phone out, sorry, right? You should not have your phone out. You're supposed to be using pencil, paper, and your computer, right? For looking at the problems on more. If you open up another web page, nope. If a chat box pops up, nope. Right? So we're going to make sure that when we are taking a test, when we're doing anything that's of like higher stakes, you're going to shut down every single chat thing in the background. You're going to shut down all other programs. You're going to shut down all other browser windows, and including on other devices. Make sure if you use another device for more, where you do homework sometimes on a laptop and you do homework sometimes on your computer, shut down everything on the other computers, because I always hear the excuse, oh, my brother logged in on that computer and they were clicking around and they clicked into the review assignment while I was taking the test. I can't, sorry, right? It just has to be something that could be interpreted as cheating. Don't have to actually catch you. So be mindful. Just protect yourself. Make sure everything is logged out. Now, the other thing that happens a lot is using other websites to solve problems for you. This would fall under the materials submitted for grading that were not created by the student. Right? Using a website like Mathway, or an app like Mathway, or Symbolab, or Wolfram Alpha, that's not your work. So if you submit that, that is the definition of plagiarism. Okay? And very often I write a lot of the problems and more to kind of test your work, because student work looks very different than Wolfram Alpha or Symbolab, or it just looks different, and I can a lot of times tell very quickly that it's not yours. So do it the right way, right? Use those websites appropriately. Is it okay to use them? Absolutely. But should you be copying down from the page step by step, problem by problem for everything? No, right? But if you need them to help support you on one problem, great. That's what they're there for. Okay. All right. Students with disabilities. Love to work with you. Any accommodations that you have, I'm always going to try to find a way to make stuff happen. But I don't know, and I can't do anything unless this group of people tell me it's okay. right? You can't tell me that you need this accommodation or that accommodation. It has to come from them. So file your paperwork, get everything set up now. Even if you are considering, you're like, hey, I don't think I'm going to need this, still set it up with them anyway. They don't contact me until you tell them to contact me. So, and since this is only an 8-week course, we don't have a lot of wiggle room. So if they don't tell me that you get double time or something like that before the final exam or before the midterm, and it's not in place for the midterm, I can't give it to you for the midterm, and there is no wiggle room on those dates. So you need to get your paperwork filed now. Okay. Learning support, right? This is another video, but here are the two places where you can go. Everything is virtual right now. It is possible during the summer we may open up for some in-person as well with appointments. So keep your eye on these two websites, right? And checking in for tutoring. Okay. Some websites I recommend. Okay, first of all say, go to me. That's what I'm here for. I'm your teacher. Like, use me, right? That's what I'm here for. So use the ask your teacher little button, whatever it's called and more, right? Use that button. Send me a picture of your work. I promise you, like last semester I made 300 videos for my students, just helping them with, hey, this or that, here's a little mini lesson on this idea. Like, that's what this is for, right? So go to me first. Now, if you don't want to, or you can't, or you've waited till the last minute and you're not going to be able to get your homework done, there is a great math tutor who has a huge collection of videos called Patrick JMT. His stuff is awesome. Then there's also James Sousa. His stuff is awesome. Those are a lot of the videos that you see in more when you click the little video help buttons. The issue with this is, I don't know, he only has a few thousand videos, and that's an understatement. I believe he's in the hundreds of thousands of videos at this point. So not finding what you want can sometimes be daunting, but I promise you, whatever you want is there. Every single thing is there. You just got to go find it. Okay, now, and then the last but not least, there are these get video buttons at the bottom of every problem, or not every problem, but on the bottom of a lot of problems and more. They say like get help or a video called like watch it. I forget exactly what they say. Those are the devil. Okay, those can be dangerous because they are so tempting to watch and to skip you trying to figure out the problem yourself, but instead you just watch the video and mimic it. That is not learning, that is mimicking. And you need to be able to think, how did I get in the notes? Right? So be very, very careful. Please do not use these. Use these very sparingly, right? Use those very sparingly. I think I talked about that in the homework. Okay, grading procedures. Here's the deal. Midterm and final are 30% each. The reason why, please don't tell me that this class is test heavy and you wish I could spread out the points differently. I do too. Administration told me I can't. They said I'm only allowed to proctor 2 tests during the entire course, and if I spread it out differently, then it's somebody who doesn't do anything themselves. They literally just do everything Wolfram Alpha or whatever. I can't fail them. So I have to verify that your work is your work. I have to verify that you know what you're doing. So unfortunately, I'm kind of locked into this 60% on the midterm and final, which is 30% each. Those are the 2 tests that are proctored, the 2 tests I get to watch that you know what you're doing, and you, the student, are the one who's earning the grade in the class, not Wolfram Alpha. And that is actually federal law, that we have to verify the student earning the grade is the student who is doing the work. That is that. So it's one of the challenges to online teaching. So I apologize. I wish I could do something else, but I'm kind of forced since I'm only allowed to proctor 2 tests. So then, how does it break down? 10% homework, 5% notes, 25% quizzes and tests. Here's the deal. These 3 items, this, and this, these are all effort-based. I call these the effort-based grades because if you put in the effort, you're going to get 100%, right? On the homework or the lecture notes, you just have to watch the notes, fill them out, and submit them. You get your 5%, right? I don't go through and check them notoriously. Did they do everything exactly? No, I'm just looking for big idea. Did you actually watch the videos, right? Effort. Quizzes and tests, they're repeat. They're multiple attempt. You can do them as many times as you want until you get the grade you're happy with. Okay? That's 100%. Homework, once again, 100%. It's homework, unlimited attempts. Those are effort-based. So if you walk in with those done, what are we looking at? That's 40% in the books, which means to pass the class, you need 50% on the midterm, 50% on the final. You got yourself a C in the class. Okay? So do you see how this works? It's not terribly difficult if you put in the effort and you've actually learned something to get past the class. Now, if you want an A or a B, now we got to do better than 50%, but the idea was to make it possible to pass without really trying to like make sure that you guys, you have to come and get A's on the proctor tests. No, you gotta come in and get F's. Okay, like low F's, 50s, but you gotta pass them, sort of. Anyway, okay. That being said, they're not easy, so be prepared. Okay. All written assignments. If I am grading something by hand, your notes are graded by hand. Your uploaded work problems for your homework, graded by hand. All of them will be graded within 1 week from when they were submitted. Now in summer, because we move so fast, I'm going to try to do them as quickly as I can. But do not start stressing or panicking because a grade is missing. If it's been less than a week since its due date, just hang tight. But if it's more than a week, that very first 1 week, a week plus 1 minute, email me and be like, hey, did you forget to grade it? Or because we have a lot of new stuff in the course, and I have a little checklist to make sure I go and grade everything because it's all in different spots that I'm not used to. But feel free. Sometimes I miss something. Sometimes life happens and I'm dealing with things and things get frantic and I just forget to click and do an assignment to hand grade stuff. So 1 week and then feel free to email me. Okay? Plagiarism, we already kind of talked about it. Homework is always due 1 week from when it's assigned. So it always opens on Wednesday and it's always due on Tuesday night at 11:59. Okay, every time. Now, so you got that. Homework is unlimited attempts, right? It's you get, if you run out of attempts, that means you tried the problem 99 times, and you should have gotten help a lot sooner than that. Okay. What else? For your protection, anything you turn in, make sure you keep paper copies. Any kind of grades you get back, make sure you keep copies. Just in case the world explodes and more goes down and I need reference, right? And I don't have it, you have your protection. Okay. Makeup exams will only be given, the tests and exams are only given on the scheduled date unless prior arrangements have been made. Okay. Now, when we get to the calendar, you'll see there's actually a 3-day window for every single test and quiz, and they are multiple attempts. You can do them as many times as you want. So I am not kind of a big believer of my internet was down. I was trying to do it on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, and my internet went down, so I didn't get to try it. It's been open since Sunday. So, and you could have tried it on Sunday, did as good as you can, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then, right? So there's very few reasons I ever accept that you need a makeup exam. So start them early, do them over and over and over until you get the score you want. So same thing for that, makeups for quizzes and tests, kind of the same thing. Now, if you have a legitimate reason, you are an athlete and you are at nationals and you're going to be competing, okay, we'll talk. And something of that nature, or you're a member of this, armed services, and you have to go away for the weekend for some kind of training. Absolutely, right? We'll talk. But generally speaking, not much there. Midterm and final. Okay, midterm and final are proctored. Midterm and final, you have to do with a proctoring service. Again, I'll tell you which one later. But you will be asked to upload pictures of your work within 30 minutes of completing your test. If you do not have pictures uploaded, you will not get a grade, right? You get 10% for the right answer, 90% for your work. So you're not going to be happy with that test, especially since it's worth 30% of your grade. You are going to want to be on the ball, making sure you're going to have lots of opportunities to practice taking pictures, uploading pictures of your work before that midterm and final roll around. It's not going to be a new thing for you, but you need to make sure they get done, they get uploaded rapidly, okay? I grade your work, which also means it's not right or wrong. Right? There's a lot of gray area. What did you accidentally just drop a negative sign? Right? It's not this high stress of if I get the wrong answer and more, it's a 0. No, right? You could still get a 90, up to a 90. So I absolutely grade by hand. I'm grading process. I'm grading understanding. I'm grading, did you use calculus? Right? Did you get the answer by calculus, or did you just use your calculator? If you just use your calculator, you're not getting credit, right? I'm looking for calculus. So. Here's the next thing. There are late passes, which I forgot to mention. This class has late passes. You get 5 of them. 5 late passes. Okay. Here's the deal. With your 5 late passes, you cannot use them on quizzes, you cannot use them on tests, right? You can see automatic late passes may not be used for tests. Automatic extensions late passes may not be used on quizzes. They may not be used on the midterm or final exam. They can only be used on homework, not even notes, okay? Not even notes. I don't know if I have a notes section here. I was looking to find it here. But no, you can't even use them on notes, all right? The notes, if you haven't watched, that's like not going to class for a whole week. No, 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 no. The homework I get, you should have watched the lessons, the notes, filled them out, and then maybe you have some problems you didn't get to in the homework. That is what I get. That's the homework assignments. Those get late passes. Notes, You can still watch the videos. You can still fill them out. You can still like learn, but you're not going to get credit for the notes if you don't have them done by the due date. Okay. Extra credit, grade changes. This is a biggie. This seems to be becoming more and more of an issue. So please understand this. No extra credit will be given at any point in the class for other than the teacher evaluation and the work upload problems at the end of each homework assignment. Because the end of each homework assignment has you can upload all of your work for that assignment and get 1 point extra credit for the homework category. So teacher evaluation goes in the quiz test. Right? The uploading your picture goes in the homework category. Right? So you have an opportunity to earn a little bit of extra credit in each location, right? In those effort-based grades, right? But other than that, there is no extra credit. I don't care how close your grade is. I can only award based off of what you earn in the class, right? And so therefore, right, what you get is what you get. Now, if a student asks to have their grade changed for being close to the next grade, or to maintain some kind of scholarship, or any other reason other than you earned credit, meaning you show me a test and you're like, hey, you marked this off, but it's really correct, right? And we can go through work. That's good. That's not extra credit. That's points that you weren't awarded that you should have been awarded. I like that. Okay, that's a good thing. I like that you look through your work and you're like, hey, you took off 80% and all I did was this, because sometimes I can't find in your work what exactly happened. And when you point it out, I'm like, oh, now I see it. And I give you credit. That's good, all right? But if you make any of these arguments, this is a really big deal. If you try to make me feel bad because you're going to lose a scholarship, so therefore I need to change your grade, that is called fraud, okay? You are asking me to do something that could cause me to lose my job, and I will not take that kindly. Because you are putting me in a very uncomfortable position, and I will report it as such to campus police or to the academic authorities, being the vice president of student affairs or whoever it might be, or academic affairs or the student side, whichever side it needs to go to. I will report it to them and step away, and you still will not get your grade changed. Okay, so please, please, please do not do that. It's unfair to me. It's a very, very unfair thing to do your professors. Because we can't do it. So you're asking us to risk our jobs. Okay, withdraws. Here's the deal. You can withdraw yourself with a W. You just go into my.maricopa whatever system, and you can select to withdraw the course without my permission up to June 22nd. Okay, that date is listed in your Maricopa portal, so double check, make sure that's correct, but that's what it's showing on my side. Now, the other way you can get a withdrawal, after that date, you have to talk to me, and I will give a withdrawal for a reason that is one that would allow for a full refund of course fees outlined in the student handbook. Those things include military who was deployed, you were in a car accident and you can no longer, partake in the course, something of that nature. And of course, evidence has to be provided. You can't just tell me, right? You have to have proper documentation, right? So if a family member passes away, I'm going to need something from the coroner, something from the doctor, something on official letterhead with the contact information of that medical professional that I can call and verify that they're telling the truth, right? Well, not me, but the school can, because I don't want that responsibility. I don't want to be in charge of your medical stuff. I have no interest. But you have to provide those kinds of things. If you don't, I can't award it. Okay, I can't take your word for it. I would love to, but it just creates situations that put me in a bad spot, and I don't want to go down that road. And of course, I reserve the right to change this at any time, anything in here, if there's any typos or whatever, or if sometimes the student brings something up, I'm like, hey, that's a really good point. I should change this or that. I reserve that right. It's very rare, but I reserve the right. Okay, moving on. This is our tentative calendar. You can see how things are laying out for the entire semester. What I'm going to point out is normally we have 16 weeks, we have half. So this normally would be week 1 and week 2. So the due date is the same for the first and second block. You can see how these things would naturally normally come out in a 16-week course. So then this would be week 3 and week 4. So every 2 blocks, for the most part, make up a week for us. Now, you're going to notice here, I do slow down on that week we take our proctored midterm. I am slowing down. Notice 1 block, 1 week, because that is 30% of your grade. So I want to make sure you have time to study. And I give you a really good resource. Students have been loving it since I've created it. It creates practice midterms for you to do, and you do them over and over. And every time you go into it, it generates a new one. And you keep going through it as many times as you can to get as good as you can, as strong as you can before you go into that proctored midterm. Okay, so notice this is the one block that is 1 week only. All right, then you'll see moving along. In that week, though, please also notice, I guess I'll say, please also notice, we also have a section we're going to need to do. Okay, so it's 1 section plus a whole bunch of studying. This section is not on the midterm. Okay, the midterm only covers up to 2.11. Okay, moving along, then you'll see again, let me change back to yellow. So then you'll see again, 2 weeks, we're going to have this stuff 1 week, then we're going to go to 2 blocks for the next week. And you will also notice here, I skipped over the first one, test 3, testing dates 7/11 to 7/13. These are unproctored, meaning these are the ones that are multiple attempt. You do as many times as you want. That's how test number 1, there it is. You'll see it right here. Test number 1 is unproctored. And it opens on Sunday, closes on Tuesday night. And then test number 3 is that way. So 1 and 3 are unproctored. You get 3 days to do them as many times as you want. Keep doing them until it keeps your highest score. Do them as many times as you want until you get the score you're happy with. Now, here's the next interesting one. This is an interesting thing. Okay, so 720. Okay, notice we have 2 sections due on 7/20, and notice the final exam is the very next Wednesday and Thursday. It's like 1 day away. So the final exam review, will open this week with the 3.7 whatever. So this week you're really going to be doing 3.7 and proper integrals, and you're going to start studying for the final. Okay, so you're going to study for the final that week as well. All right, so, and you'll notice I'm checking the due dates as I go. These all seem to be matching. Sometimes I forget to change them, so I'm glad I got it this semester. Yay. Anyway, so I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. But the dates you need to put in your calendar right now, the dates that you need to make sure you can take your proctored test, which can be done from home. It can be done, it's going to be done electronically. But you need to make sure you have a block of time available, is 1 day on 7/21 or 7/22, and the test is 2 hours, right? So you're going to need a 2 hour, maybe 2.5 hours to get logged in and get set up and all that. So 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours, because then you're going to need a little time to upload your pictures. So make sure you have a 3-hour block with babysitters or work or whatever it might be on 7/21, 7/22, and 6/28, 6/29. That midterm's proctored as well. So same deal, 2 hours to take the test. So a half hour to set up, half hour to upload your pictures. So those are 2 important days to kind of get something blocked out. Okay, all right, any questions, any concerns, please don't hesitate to ask. I know this is a long video, but I hope it was informative, and you do have a quiz that goes over all of this stuff, so please make sure you go take that quiz. Again, multiple attempt, so you can do it as many times as you need until you get your 100%, but you will not get any credit on the quiz until you get 100%. All right, hope this helps.